As a quick precursor to this episode, I would love to invite you to attend the autumn edition of my in-person event, Dare Greatly in the Coaching Arena, which will be held on Friday the 8th of November in Barnes, southwest London. It's a 5-minute walk from Barnes Station, and there's also a free car parking place on site. So it's the best of both worlds. We will be preparing and planning for your best ever 2025, and you will leave with that vision and strategy for your next 12 months with a newfound sense of connection and focus. We will be harvesting your present and planting the seeds for a profitable and joyful 2025, allowing your business goals to bloom with ease. I'm very excited to be bringing the warmth of the season and all of those beautiful colours and everything we can learn from shedding what no longer serves us and preparing for spring. Embrace the seasons of change and join me on 8th of November to Dare Greatly in the Coaching Arena. Do not worry if you don't know anyone. I will ensure that you feel welcome from the moment you arrive until the moment you leave. I cannot wait to see you there, and grab the link now in the show notes. Hello and welcome to Women in the Coaching Arena podcast. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Lott, a business mentor and ICF accredited coach, and I help coaches to build brilliant businesses. I know that when you prepare to enter the arena, there is fear, self-doubt, comparison, anxiety, uncertainty. You can tend to armor up and protect yourself from vulnerability. In this podcast, I'll be sharing honest, not hype, practical and emotional tools to support you to make the difference that you're here for. Dare greatly, you belong in this arena. Hello, welcome to episode 44 of Women in the Coaching Arena. I am so glad you are here. I'm recording this episode on the 3rd of January, and the January blues have truly set in. And it made me think about choosing my hard. I once heard this quote, choose your hard. Marriage is hard, divorce is hard, choose your hard. Obesity is hard, being fit is hard, choose your hard. Being in debt is hard. Being financially disciplined is hard. Choose your hard. Communicating is hard. Not communicating is hard. Choose your hard. Life will never be easy. It will always be hard, but we can choose our hard. Pick wisely. And I really, really like that, because I think I'm in the stage of thinking the grass is greener. So I was talking to my husband last night about the change that's going to happen in my business this year, and the slight anxiety about my expenses rising, and about the people I'm hiring to help me and the financial implications of that. And he said, if you are thinking that if you do something else, like get a job, which I wasn't thinking at all, is easier, and it will make that anxiety feeling go away, then you're mistaken. That feeling is always going to be there. There is always going to be challenges. And it was a great reminder, because I think I'm at the point now where I'm starting to think, which weirdly enough I have never thought, and I know people think this all the time, is it easier to go and get a job? Because you work so hard when you have your own business. And I love it because it's an expression of you. And you really get to create something that makes a difference. But there is no doubt about it. It is hard being always on. So this Christmas, I was very good and I really, really switched off. Fortunately, we were away nearly the entire 2 weeks. So I think being out of the house really helps switch off. But even when you're switching off, it is all consuming. You are literally thinking, right, I've got that offer to launch, or I've got this to do, or this would be a really good social media post. And your brain just never, ever switches off when you have your own business. So that led me to wanting to record this episode for you today, in case you are wondering which hard to choose. Because again, like the quote says, both options are hard. It's about choosing our hard. I do think that there is this common misconception that success should be easy. And we see that all over social media, how relaxed everyone looks despite running multi-million pound businesses. And it's just not true. And I think the more masterminds and things I'm part of, you realize everyone has challenges. And I voice noted someone the other day saying something along these lines. And he messaged me back saying, every single day I have those thoughts. And it was amazing because you would see him on social media and I just would never know because he's so positive and he's so disciplined. So it was a real eye-opener that it's not just me. So I wanted to share this with you today in case you think it's just you that sometimes has those feelings of, is this just all too hard? So if I think back to the workplace, now comparing it to what I know now in entrepreneurship, I actually think it was really easy work-wise anyway. So, you go in at your set time. I used to go to the gym for an hour every single lunchtime. I used to leave on time every single day and then just go out to pubs and enjoy my evenings. So it's a huge difference now looking back of the workload level compared to the workload that I have now in entrepreneurship when you are the marketeer, the accountant, the coach, all of the different hats that you wear in comparison to when you work in the workplace and you have a team, you have people to bounce ideas off, you have other teams to actually do some of the work for you. So it's easy to look back and think that I'm comparing just that workload with my workload now. But actually, it's not really just the workload. It's the politics that came with that role that did hang over me 24/7. And I forget that sometimes, like how draining that is when you're constantly trying to please people, when you can't get your ideas through, when you can't create what you want, because there's always someone more senior to get the approval, or there's people less senior to get on board. Nothing was easy. But often we can forget that that was not always easy. It was just very different. And now reflecting on that experience in the workplace, even though maybe workload was easy, but it was that unfulfilling kind of hard when even though you're not run ragged, there's nothing worse than sitting at your desk all day waiting to go home and knowing that you can't create your freedom of expression. You can't just take action and do something that you want to do. So it's good to reflect on the fact that it left me feeling completely out of alignment every single day and really out of alignment with my values every single day, which felt really hard. Instead of ever energized or fulfilled or proud, I don't think I ever really had those feelings. So whilst in a weird sort of way it was kind of stable, it was very out of alignment. So then obviously I pivoted. So I chose the path of building my own business. And it's really hard as well. There's that uncertainty, the weight of finances. Now I'm growing my team and I've got huge outgoings in comparison to when I first started my business. And that is a huge responsibility that I haven't been used to before in my business. So despite it feeling hard sometimes, it's also really rewarding and it's a true creative expression of what I want to create in the world, which is something that most people never really get to bring to fruition. It's also the freedom to do work when I want to do it, to take holiday when I want to do it, to put boundaries in that I want to do, to know that there is no ceiling and I can continue to create value, which can grow my impact and my income, is something that I would never have had in the workplace because there is always someone saying you can or can't get promotion. And so that is something I absolutely love in entrepreneurship, that you are on a continual personal growth journey. There is no coasting in entrepreneurship. If you aren't creating value, if you aren't pushing yourself to the limit, then your business won't grow and you won't grow. And when it comes down to it, isn't that the whole point? That we are here to continue to evolve and grow and become the very best version of us that we can, to endure challenges that you have to overcome because, again, there is no coasting. If you can't overcome them, your business will grind to a halt. So you have to step up and step into it to be able to thrive in entrepreneurship and therefore to be able to grow as a human being. So I would love to invite you to think about your hard and which one you are going to choose. Back to the quote, for example, it's hard to be obese. It's hard to go to the gym. Like, which one are you going to choose? I am this year for sure going to choose more fitness, more health, even though I want more biscuits, because that is the easier option, though the result of that is the harder thing to endure. So sometimes it's those small actions that you can take every day to grow your life and your business that will add up to that huge success. You can choose a path of true fulfillment, knowing that both paths are hard, yet one is perhaps for you going to be more rewarding than the other. I have several clients who are going through this at the moment. I have one client, Yvonne. Hello, Yvonne, if you're listening, who has had her first day of full-time entrepreneurship yesterday. She's been working with me for the last 9 months and she's been balancing her full-time job with her coaching business. She has done exceptionally well. She has overcome so many barriers. She has worked so hard, considering she is also working full-time. So I'm so excited that despite the fact she now knows entrepreneurship is hard, because she has learned that over the last 9 months of really stepping up, challenging herself, pushing herself, that she is prepared to go all in and start this entrepreneurship journey full time. So I think that is truly inspiring because, to be honest, I think if I had any idea while I was working, I would have probably coasted for a little bit longer. But I'm obviously truly grateful, in all honesty, that I did go for this path, as I have grown more in the last 4 years than I genuinely feel like I have grown in the last 40. So in summary of this episode, choose your hard. Every single option is hard. This myth that success is easy is probably just that, a myth. And do let me know if you know different. And I know we choose our thoughts and our thoughts form our reality. So I don't always go down this route. But I think in certain times, and certainly early January, when things do feel harder because it's dark and it's cold, it's good to accept that this is the norm for most of us. And we are all facing challenges. I'm actually doing Gabby Bernstein's 21-day manifestation challenge at the moment. And I remember reading one of her books. And despite the fact she always says, choose again, choose another thought, and, all the things that we know as coaches that we should do, and I practice all the time. But she actually said she often feels really down and wonders what it's all about and all of those things. So even if you are at the highest frequency and practicing all of this stuff, I think it's good to know that it's always hard. Denise Duffield Thomas is another example. She is now a multimillionaire and she says she works every single day on her money mindset and receiving more. There is never a point that it stops. Like, working on yourself is the biggest thing you can do to generate huge results. So do let me know about the choices you intend to make as we begin this new year. And if this episode resonated for you, I would love to hear from you. You can contact me on LinkedIn as Joanna Lott or Instagram as @JoannaLottCoaching. And like I say at the end of every episode, trust yourself, believe in yourself, and be the wise gardener who keeps on watering the seed. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Women in the Coaching Arena. I have a mass of free resources on my website, joannalottcoaching.com. That's Joanna with an A and Lott with 2 T's, joannalottcoaching.com. And I'll also put links in the show notes below. Let me know if you found this episode useful, share it with a friend and leave me a review, and I will personally thank you for that. Remember to trust yourself, believe in yourself, and be the wise gardener who keeps on watering the seed. Get into the arena, dare greatly, and try.